Nate Diaz has turned down a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Geoff Neal has been arrested and Impa Kasanganay has been released from the UFC, and I'm going to cover all of these topics on today's MMA News reaction video, starting with Nate Diaz turning down a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. This is big news, and how do I know this news? Because I watched an interview where Nate Diaz literally said in his own words on TMZ, and I quote, "They're coming at me with Chimaev," and I'm like, hold on, don't disrespect me like that, trying to offer me a fight with a rookie. So, this tells me many different things. First of all, Nate Diaz has turned down a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Second of all, the UFC were interested in making a Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz matchup. And also on Twitter right now, Khamzat Chimaev has been going off, calling Nate Diaz a chicken, amongst many other things as well. He even called out Nick Diaz as well, which we'll get to in a second. But this tells me Khamzat Chimaev accepted, Nate Diaz didn't accept, and I quote, "And because I'm cool, you got 4 fights in the UFC, don't even talk my name." But the UFC was interested in making this matchup, which is very important because I didn't even realise this was a possibility. I didn't think they'd match up Nate Diaz with Khamzat Chimaev, but now I'm thinking about it, it makes complete sense. Nate Diaz is on the final fight of his contract, and he's probably not going to re-sign with the UFC afterwards. He's probably going to go fight Jake Paul, a bunch of other names, so while he's here, why not feed him to your upcoming star, Khamzat Chimaev, who's probably going to be the future of the UFC. He's a big name. He's most likely going to be a double champion at some point. I know I'm jumping on the hype train here, but still, it's hard to deny. After watching him out-grapple Jack Hermansson in a grappling match, I mean, he's probably going to be a double champ in the UFC and take over the sport in the future. So why not put Nate Diaz against him, a big name in Nate Diaz who hasn't been finished yet, which is a big deal as well, and I'll get to that in a second, but a big name in Nate Diaz who's on his way out of the sport, who doesn't have a ranking right now in either division, so I don't know why he said don't even talk my name. I don't think Nate Diaz realizes, and this is the delusion of the Diazes, or the Nate Diaz anyway, the delusion of Nate Diaz, I don't think Nate Diaz realizes you're literally 10 steps back for Khamzat Chimaev right now. Chimaev's ranked number 11, I believe, in the welterweight division. You aren't ranked anywhere in any division because all you do is lose. And that's all you've been doing over the past couple of years. But either way, Nate Diaz doesn't feel like Khamzat Chimaev's worthy. He said he wants to fight a top 5 opponent, which is interesting because this should be like a golden ticket for Nate Diaz, a jump right back into the rankings. In any other situation, Nate Diaz, a guy who isn't ranked in lightweight or welterweight, is not getting a ranked opponent because he's coming off a loss. Fair play, he almost hurt Edwards and almost finished Edwards, sorry, he did hurt Edwards. Almost finished Edwards at the end of the 5th round in their fight that they had, but like, you lost. Like, this should be like a, yes, please, give me the ranked opponent. But no, apparently he wants a top 5 opponent. But then the interviewer mentioned something about Colby Covington. And he said, no, not Colby Covington. I'll fight the guy who beat him last in Usman. So he doesn't want a top 5 opponent because Covington's right there. And Nate Diaz refused it immediately in the very same interview when he said that he wanted a top 5 opponent and didn't want to fight Khamzat Chimaev. He literally got asked if he wanted to fight number 1. And he said no, so he doesn't want a top 5 opponent. He wants nothing but a title shot, apparently. Nate Diaz is, I swear to God, if he wasn't Nate Diaz, everyone would call him delusional and he'd be the most hated guy in the UFC. If anyone else said shit like this in the same position as Nate Diaz, everyone would tear them apart online in the comment sections, even on Instagram comments as well. He would get torn to shreds and called delusional and just called an absolute idiot by everyone. But because it's Nate Diaz and we feel kind of bad for him because of the way his brain works, people just say, funny Nate Diaz doing his funny stuff again, I guess. So no one really comes down on him, but I'm going to come down on him. You're supposed to be the gangster of the UFC. Sign a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Let's get this matchup made. I didn't even know this was a possibility. But now I know. I want it to happen. And I understand why they would make it. Get rid of Nate Diaz. Build up a name of Khamzat Chimaev, who's probably going to finish Nate Diaz as well. But Nate Diaz apparently says that everyone in the top of the division is scared of him. I will put every single bit of money I've ever earned in my entire life on the line to say the phrase that Vicente Luque is in no way scared of Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz claims he is. That's just not true, is it really? I would bet so much. I would bet lives. I would bet people I know's lives on the line to say that Vicente Luque is not scared of Nate Diaz, and in fact Nate Diaz just doesn't want the fight with Vicente Luque because, again, he'll probably get finished. If you notice, a lot of the people that Nate Diaz takes on are people that he doesn't believe can finish him. Last fight against Leon Edwards, not a big name, not the biggest name in the welterweight division whatsoever, but a guy who typically doesn't get finishes, so Nate Diaz can always say, I never got finished, I went the distance, he never got me out of there properly, you have to finish me to beat me, and all that kind of stuff. I would have eventually beaten him, because he did rock him at the end of the 5th round, fair play. But Nate Diaz is being a bit delusional right now, because you offer him number 11, no, not good enough, I want top 5. Here's number 1 in the world, how do you feel about that matchup? Nah, I want the champ. It's just like, what can we do to please Nate Diaz right now? Maybe he's got a matchup booked with like a Tony Ferguson that we don't know about yet, or maybe he's got a matchup plan with Conor McGregor and he's just waiting out on the sidelines and acting like he wants to get back in there, but he knows he's just going to take that McGregor fight whenever it comes back around. But at the same time, if the UFC is offering him this matchup, then he doesn't have any of that stuff planned, because the UFC doesn't have any of that stuff planned, and the UFC is the be-all end-all of all the matchups. So he has no matchups planned. He said he wanted to fight in December, and he's not going to because he doesn't want to fight Chimaev. And I get it. Why would you? He's going to destroy you and completely embarrass you and ruin your brand forever. Nate Diaz can still go into other sports like boxing and keep his brand, knowing that he's never been really finished in the UFC, outside of Josh Thompson, of course. But recently, since his big name value has increased, he hasn't been finished in the UFC. He's taken on all the tough guys. He rocked Leon Edwards in the 5th round. He's had his moments here and there. It was a doctor stoppage and not a real finish against Jorge Masvidal. He has all these excuses right now in his career. And if he goes out there against a Vicente Luque or a Khamzat Chimaev, he'll just get destroyed, I reckon. And I think he knows that, so he's looking for another matchup that he won't get finished against, or just a big name fight that he can get, like a Conor McGregor matchup. Who knows? But this is weird. Nate Diaz just turning down fights, and Khamzat Chimaev is not pleased by this either. He said on Twitter, and I quote again from his Twitter, "You fake gangster, you fake gangster, Nate Diaz 209. I don't care who to fight. I'm coming for everybody. Where are all the gangsters and kings?" Fair play. If you're a gangster, you take on anyone, but not Khamzat Chimaev, I guess. I'm here to kill everyone. I'm the king here. I'm a gangster here. Chimaev is really going in on this killing everyone kind of situation. I don't know. I guess the media just doesn't care when Khamzat Chimaev says it in case he goes for them as well. But he also said, "You're the easiest money for me, thin Nate Diaz." He called him thin. That is an insult in Chechnya, apparently. I think that's like a positive thing here in the West, but no. But Nate Diaz is a bit of a soy boy, so he called him a thin Nate Diaz and put the coffin symbol and then the weird face that he does with a bunch of American flags. And then he posted a meme or a little video here of a little dog riding a machine that's chewing up chickens by the dozen, which is an interesting visual narration or like visual representation of what he's doing to the welterweight division right now, I guess. And he also said at the end of it, just to rub one more bit of salt in the wound, and this is how desperate Chimaev is for a fight, because he did this to Colby Covington as well. You don't represent America, I represent America. He's going at them where it hurts to try and get these matchups. And he said to Nate Diaz, "Say hello to your older brother. Tell him not to be afraid of me. I don't beat old people. He knows what I mean. In Vegas, I just wanted to say hello. Well, the poor man ran away." I don't know if this is true. I don't know if Nick Diaz really ran away from Khamzat Chimaev. I doubt that, but what he's trying to do is get Nate Diaz where he knows it's tender, to try and get that sort of emotional reaction out of him, to make that fight happen. But let's face it, point blank, Nate Diaz is unranked. He needs a ranked opponent. He doesn't want to take on number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4 or number 5. He wants the champ, who he's never going to get a fight with. Nate Diaz is ducking top competition right now. I don't know what he's waiting for. It must be the McGregor fight. It's the only excuse he has. Unless it's the McGregor fight, he's ducking everyone right now. And if it was any other fighter on the roster, you guys would say he's ducking him as well, because Nate Diaz just is exempt and he can be as delusional as he wants. Also within this interview, and I do want to mention this as well, he went on and said a few more things. He said, fight newer guys in the UFC, and he mentioned as well that he can take on his teammates. He said, "Hey Khamzat, if you're in there, don't be a bitch. My boy's right here. Fight him." And I'm telling you, when he said this, the guy, Nick Maximov is the guy. He's a UFC middleweight. He's actually pretty good. he's not amazing, but he didn't look too good against Cody Brundage. I don't think he would beat Khamzat Chimaev, let's just say that. Nate Diaz just said randomly in the interview, fight my boy right here, fight him. And by the way, basically shitting on his boy, essentially, because he said, fight lower level guys that ain't shit, and then went, fight this guy, my friend. Like, basically calling his friend, like, nothing in the UFC, which he is, and it's honest, and it's true, but at the same time, little shot at his friend. But when the camera panned over to Nick Maximov, he was like a deer in headlights. Like, what have you fucking thrown me into here, Nate Diaz? He literally threw his friend under the bus and said, fight this guy, fight my boy over here, and Nick Maximov literally went like this. Yeah, like, really, really terrified. What am I signing up for now? What are you signing me up for here? I've got a matchup. I'm busy on that day. Yeah, that was literally the look he gave. It was amazing to see. If you haven't seen it yet, go to MMA Island on Instagram. They got a little clip of it when it happens. A little bit of editing done as well. It was a funny situation. But yeah, Nate Diaz is turning down Khamzat Chimaev. He also got asked about Covington, but as I said, he turned him down as well. Doesn't want Colby Covington. He wants the guy that beat him because Covington got beat up in his last fight, but I don't get it. I don't get what. So he doesn't want people that are coming off a loss, but doesn't want Chimaev, but doesn't want Chimaev because he's not top 5, but doesn't want anyone in the top 5, but only wants Usman, which he's not going to get. So he don't want no one. Nate Diaz is just chatting absolute bollocks. But good stuff. Nate Diaz being Nate Diaz. Delusional as usual. Top 5, I'm fighting a top 5 guy ASAP. Let's do January in Anaheim. Luke Hay! I know for a fact Luke Hay is not scared of you. Luke Hay has been calling you out for the past 5 fights that he's had, I feel like. He wants a fight with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, Vicente Luque, January, Anaheim. Fucking shut up and fight him if you're going to, because it's holding up the division. And Luque could have had another matchup by now. Luque could have fought Chimaev by now. But no. He's sitting around thinking, oh, am I going to get this free paycheck against Nate Diaz or not? So he's holding everything up. Let's get the matchup made in January. Let's go. Moving on to another thing that happened, which was, he also said none of these top 5 guys are really caring about, you aren't top 5! You're unranked! You're not anywhere! You're nothing! You're a loser! Sorry, Nate Diaz fans, but this has got to be said. Jesus, moving on to another situation, which was Geoff Neal getting arrested. Very crazy news, did not expect this news whatsoever, and he was arrested on misdemeanor charges of driving while intoxicated and unlawful carrying of a weapon. How hard is it to get insured? How hard is it not to drink and drive? I get it was Thanksgiving, and that's when he was arrested, by the way. It says here he was arrested on the 24th or the 25th of November, whenever Thanksgiving was, I guess. I'm sure you guys and you American guys will know when Thanksgiving was. But he was arrested and released at 8:08 p.m. on a bond of $1,000. So he had to pay something. He got released at 8:08 p.m. And he was driving home from Thanksgiving, and he was drunk driving with an unlicensed firearm. And it's in Texas as well, which is where Geoff Neal's from, so it's like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know much about American gun law, but I'm pretty sure it's quite relaxed in Texas compared to the other states, so it's probably just a case of an unlicensed weapon whilst drunk driving. What the fuck are you doing? First of all, what are you doing in terms of your fight camp? Regardless if you got caught or not, I understand it's Thanksgiving and you're going to have a good time. This might be why you didn't beat fucking Neil Magny, dude, in the Battle of the Neils not too long ago. His last loss against Neil Magny. Lost the Battle of the Neils because, why are you drinking 3 weeks out from your fight, you retard? Like, fighters deserve more pay. He's drinking in a fucking training camp. What boxer does that shit? I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that might do it. Tyson Fury, back in his heyday, if you'll call it that, was probably doing some stuff during this fight camp. But at the same time, like, I get it, it's Thanksgiving, but you signed a fight knowing that you were going to be training through Thanksgiving. You're drunk driving home. Like, where is your like dedication to the game? Where is your commitment to the game? Like, dedicate yourself for a training camp so you can beat this next opponent, Santiago Ponzinibbio, who's a savage. Geoff Neal also in this picture looks fucking 10 years older. I don't know what it is about mugshots, but they all start looking a bit more like John Jones, I feel like. Even white guys all start looking like John Jones. But Geoff Neal, I swear, I saw this picture, and I'm like, there's something off about this picture. That doesn't look like Geoff Neal that I know. that looks slightly like a morphed on like let's say there's a scale of how much you can change him to look like John Jones. He looks like he's sort of moved it up to 10% closer towards John Jones. I don't know what it is, but whenever I see a mugshot of a fighter, it always reminds me of John Jones. But Geoff Neal, in trouble again, got arrested. Apparently there's a chance he could actually go for jail for a long time of 180 days, which I believe is, 6 months in jail. He was charged with a Class B misdemeanor, DUI. Usually misdemeanors aren't too big of a deal, I believe, in America. I don't know, we have different words over here. But Neal was charged with a Class B misdemeanor, DUI, which he registered a blood alcohol level under 0.15. And Class B misdemeanor carries a potential jail sentence of up to 180 days in jail and fines. He also has that unlawful carry of a weapon charge as well. So this could be a problem for him. He's not out of the fight yet because he's not actually in jail. He got released, but he might have to pay a fine at some point along the line. Down the line anyway. But this is not good to be going on in the middle of your training camp. All of these problems that you got to deal with when you're about to fight Santiago Ponzinibbio on the main card of a pay-per-view. They put you on the main card of a pay-per-view where you don't even belong. Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz belongs on the main card. It always did. But you were on there, hogging up a spot for no fucking reason. You aren't a big name, but they did you that favour. Here's a main card slot on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. And you can't not drink in your fight camp. And you can't not only not drink, but not drink and then get behind the wheel of a car with an unlicensed firearm. Like, why did you need your firearm? You were going to Thanksgiving with your family. What, in case someone got the fucking last carrot, you were going to fucking throw down and show them some real smoke? I don't understand. Either way, next story in the news. Fucking hell, these fucking fighters don't get paid enough. They ain't fucking even taking their training camp seriously. You're drinking through it. Either way. Impa Kasanganay. Sad news, he got cut from the UFC. What the fuck? Guido Canetti just got a fight signed. He's 8-6 and 41. Impa Kasanganay, I believe, is 28 years of age. In his prime right now, he lost to Colston Harris. Oh, sorry, he lost to Colston Harris, an actual good fighter. And obviously the Joaquin Buckley KO that everyone knows about as well. But he is literally... What is he in the UFC so far in his career? 2-2? On a one-fight losing streak? Gone? Gone? I don't know. Sasha Politnikov is still signed, I believe. Maki Pitolo is still signed. He's on a massive losing streak right now. Maki Pitolo, what's his record right now? 13-8. He's fighting this weekend. 13-8 on a 3-fight losing streak, including a loss to Impa Kasanganay, and more recently got finished by Julian Marquez. He's 1-4 in his last 5. Maki Pitolo. Still signed. Sam Alvey! Sam Alvey is still signed. Impa Kasanganay gone. Tyron Woodley gone. I think Joanne Calderwood just got cut as well. Like, I don't understand. There must be some other reason as to why this is happening. He's 27. He got cut by the UFC. They did not say that Impa Kasanganay has said that he needs to take some time and recover. 3 months after his loss, you're done. What are they fucking doing? I have no idea what they're doing. Maybe it's just a case of, like, fighters wanting more pay even though they're coming off a loss. So the UFC just like, alright, fuck you. You want to start calling the shots? Start calling the shots at fucking Bellator, you bitch. But, like, I'm looking at the last fight announcement. Guido Canetti versus Chris Moutinho. 41 years of age, Guido Canetti. 3-fight losing streak, Guido Canetti. 8-6, Guido Canetti. But not enough room for Impa Kasanganay. If anything, the higher divisions are less stacked. So keep these guys in. Colston Harris is a beast. He's a beast. I think he could beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he's got a serious chance of doing it. But, like, fuck. I guess his chin is just like, maybe they're looking at his chin and thinking, you know what? He's just shit and he's never going to be anything, so let's get rid of him. But, like, I liked Impa Kasanganay. I thought he had potential. But no. What the fuck are they doing? Honestly, I have no idea what they're doing, but they're just cutting people like fucking flies and makes no fucking sense to me. So, Sam Alvey's still here. Guido Canetti's still here, but Woodley goes, which is fine because he was on a massive losing streak, but Yoel Romero gone, like it... Whatever. Dumb fucking decision making at the UFC. Makes no fucking sense. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.